In this video, we're going to talk about the highest paying hospitals for 2024 in the entire US. And I'm saying the entire US, but most of these hospitals, actually all of these hospitals are in California. And the reason why I'm going to be talking about this today is because I haven't updated the last spreadsheet in probably over 6 to 8 months. And since then, there's been a lot of hospitals that have won higher contracts. So there's nurses that are earning now upwards of $140, $150 per hour in some hospitals in California. So I'm going to share my screen to show you guys exactly what the most recent salaries are going to be for 2024. And these numbers are coming straight out of the contract. So it's not like I'm making these numbers up, but it took me a long time to gather all of the data and make sure that it aligned from one hospital to the next based on the number of years of experience. All right, so these hospitals right here that you have on the list are about 12, 15 hospitals. And most of them, as you can see, are from the UC system. And UC is University of California. But I also have Kaiser South. So I have the city of San Francisco, El Camino, Kaiser North, Kaiser South, Palo Alto, Stanford, Sutter Roseville, UC Berkeley, UC Davis, UC Irvine, UC LA, UC Merced, UC Riverside. And I know some of these are universities, but they hire nurses within these universities. So they're not all hospitals, but they're tied to the UC system. Okay, then we have UC San Diego, UC San Francisco, Washington Hospital. And this one is for nurses working 8-hour shifts and nurses working 12-hour shifts. Then we have Contra Costa and Sutter Alta Bates. Okay, now let me go to the spreadsheet and let's look up some numbers. So the first thing you need to know, nurses are getting paid $346,000 per year. Only if you're a nurse who is working 40 hours per week with 30 years of experience and you're working per diem nights, because you can't make this much money if you're working as a staff nurse, unless you're picking up overtime. So all of these numbers are numbers that you're going to see based on data for nurses that are not working any overtime, which means that if you do pick up overtime, you're going to be making a lot more than what you see in these numbers. Now, I'm going to show you what Monica and I are going to be making in 2024.
Okay, so I was just telling Jason, I come home one night from my shift and I was like, did you know I was going to get a $4 raise next year? Because I had really thought my pay was going to be stuck because I'm at that scale where it doesn't move until like 5 years later, right?
Okay, so
my yearly scale.
All right, but what you're referring to is, okay, so we get two different raises when we're working in the Kaiser system. You get a step up raise and you get an annual raise, which is like an anniversary raise. And the anniversary raise stops at like year 5. So like, let's say you're working with Kaiser and you start at year 1. By year 5, you stop getting an anniversary raise until you get to year 8. But what happens when you're not getting the anniversary raise, you're still getting, it's like an inflation adjustment raise. And everybody gets that across the board. And that's what you hear on the news when people say Kaiser nurses are getting 5% raise this year, 5% next year, 6% next year. That's basically what they're talking about, the inflation adjustment raise. But if you are working with Kaiser, you're going to get 2 raises. You will get the anniversary raise, which is the step up raise, and you will get the inflation adjustment raise. But Monica, what were you talking about? Yeah.
So anyways, so I thought for the longest time I wasn't going to get any raise whatsoever. And I was going to stay in 124 an hour until like maybe years later. And then I go home and I was telling Jason, did you know I was going to get a raise next year? Because my coworker came up to me and she's like, Monica, you still want to move to New York? Did you see we're going to get a raise next year? And then I go home and I was like, babe, did you know I was going to get a raise? I was going to make what? What's my new pay scale now?
Okay, that's what I'm going to go over and I'm going to show you guys. But yeah, we're still going to move to New York.
Yeah. No, but I was just like, damn. Yeah. Like literally my pay is going to be cut in half because so Jason told me that I don't need to work when we move back to New York. He said, oh, you don't need to work, and we'll be covered for the next, for at least 2 years. And I said, we need health insurance. And, he can work on YouTube. He can focus on content creation. But I'm so scared. I just wanted to have something to fall back on and just cover everybody's health insurance. There's 4 of us now. And imagine having to pay for 4-person health insurance.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, we're still gonna move back to New York. I tell myself I'm not gonna work as a nurse when we move to New York But you never know. I might pick up like a per diem shift just so I can talk to you guys about my experience as a nurse in New York. Who knows? I don't want to be a nurse anymore, but I'm willing to do that just so I can continue to stay in the field and be able to relate to everybody who watches the videos. But let's talk about the salaries now. Okay, so this is the reason why Monica was like flabbergasted when her coworker told her how much she's going to get paid. Let's see if I can share this with you guys.
And did you tell them what you said?
What?
And you were like, how do you not know this? And you're married to me.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, when her coworker told her that we're getting a raise and Monica was confused, she's like, wait, I thought we weren't getting a raise anymore. Monica told me this, and I was like, how could you not know this? You're married to me. You need to know this stuff. She should know the ins and outs of our contract by now because I'm always talking about it. But okay. Here we go. Without further ado, let's talk about our pay. When you do the hourly rate, you actually have to remove how many hours per week you're working. So you just got to click on that and then delete it. Okay. If you're on the phone, you're going to have to like press and hold and then clear it. Okay. Anyways. Okay. So let's move on. Monica has, in Kaiser's view, only 5 years of experience, even though she actually has like 10 years at this point.
Yeah, it's
like 10 years of experience. But that's because she gets like 1 year of credit within the Kaiser system for every 2 years of experience. And then once you're in the Kaiser system, you go up one step or 1 year per year, if that makes sense. So, and it caps off at 5 years. And then on the 8th year, you will go up another step. I'll show you the contract later, so it makes a little bit more sense. Right now, it's kind of confusing. Anyways, so she's got basically 5 years of experience. And then she's working per diem nights. So as a per diem night shift nurse, this is how much she's making, $132 per hour. But look at what these El Camino nurses are making with the same amount of experience, $149.52 per hour. Then you have UC San Francisco. See, this is what this raise did for us because Kaiser was actually behind. I think we were number 5 or 6 on this list of the highest paying hospitals, but now we're at number 3. And it's going to continue to go up because the raise that we received recently, it's something like 21% overall for the next 3 years. And you don't have hospitals in any part of the country that are paying this much money. But I just couldn't believe when Monica told me she didn't know she was going to be making this much money. But just think about that, $132 per hour. At the moment, she's only making, well, I say only, but she's making $124 per hour. And because of the raise and how much money she's currently making, it's going to go up to $132 per hour with the night shift differential, and she's working for them.
That kind of made me cry a little bit because I was looking at job openings in New York, and I'm just looking at the pay scale, and I'm just like, it's ridiculous. I'm going to get my pay cut in half, and that's me working full time. So I just was just like, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah. Okay, so let's look over what my salary looks like. So Monica and I were in the same step. Even though she started with Kaiser, a year before me?
You have more experience.
Yeah, I have more experience than her, but so she's going to, because she started a year before me, she's actually going to get to step 8 before me. And, maybe if I can pull that up so I can show you guys what the steps mean. So this is the contract for Kaiser Permanente. And this one goes from September 1st, 2022, all the way up to August 31st, 2026. But let me show you what I mean when I talk about the different steps. So I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to go to the wage structure here. So this was for 2023. And at the moment, I'm at step 5, making $89.45 per hour base. But with the differential, I have an extra $8.40. So I'm actually making about $97 per hour. Okay. Then next year, this is what I'm talking about with the steps. When you first come in, let's say you have 2 years of experience when you first come in. You come in as a step 1 with 2 years of experience. That means that you're only being credited 1 step for every 2 years of outside experience that you have. And then once you're in the hospital system, once you're working for Kaiser, every year you're going to go up a step until you get to step 5. As you can see here, the next step after step 5 is step 6, but you need to have 8 years within the Kaiser system to get to step 6. I hope that makes sense now. Okay, let's go back to the other part so I can show you how much I'm currently making now. So I have, remember, 5 years of experience, and I'm working evening shift. So as an evening shift employee, this is how much I'm making at Kaiser North, $103.73 per hour. But in El Camino, it's 109. See, this is why I talk about the spreadsheet a lot. And I feel like if you guys really want to know your numbers, you should just get the spreadsheet. Because remember, El Camino was number 1 for per diem nurses previously, but now it's number 2 for a staff nurse working evening shifts. So these numbers are going to change based on your situation. And let's say you are working just night shift and you have, let's say, 10 years of experience. This is how much you would be making if you were working at the Kaiser system. And that's not a per diem nurse. That's just a regular night shift nurse. But Stanford in this situation would be making $129 per hour. That's $17 more per hour if you're working in the Stanford system. But you see, Kaiser's always going to be in like the top 5 now. And Washington Hospital is actually working on they're still negotiating their new contract. So once they get their numbers, their new salary or their new wage increase, I'm going to let you guys know, and I'll put it in the spreadsheet for you. Let's look at what the yearly income would look like for someone like us, right? So like, let's say I'm working evening shift with 5 years of experience, and I want to know what my yearly salary is going to be. Well, if you see this, if it looks like this, that means you need to enter how many hours per week you want to work. So at the moment, I'm only working 20 hours per week. But remember, this doesn't include like holiday pay, your continuing education, and all these other things that you get in addition to your regular pay. So right now, it looks like $107 per hour. But if you guys have seen my previous salary breakdown, we're actually much higher than that. So you know what? And let me show you what that looks like at the moment, because the numbers increase every pay period and I update it every pay period. So I'm going to show you what it is as it stands. So this is how much Monica has made, 138,000 so far. It's actually more than that. The way that Kaiser counts it, it's more like 147, 148,000. But based on what I'm looking at in the pay stubs, because I'm just adding every number that we've seen in the pay stubs, she has worked an average of 19.6 hours this year per week, and she made $138,000, right? And then me, I'm actually at 106,000, and I work 16 hours per week this year. And again, if you're wondering how I'm able to work less than that, in my newsletter, I made a post about it. So if you want to subscribe to our newsletter, you can go to our website, nursestoriches.com, and just subscribe to the newsletter, because I broke down exactly how we're able to make, over $120,000, $130,000 per year working 20 hours a week. Okay. But that's not even before the year is over. That's up to December 2nd. And I have some CEUs that I need to put in. I have holiday pay coming up. So there's more things that need to add up, but it's going to probably be around 120 something thousand by the end of the year, working 16 hours a week. That's what's possible working for the Kaiser system. Anyway, so let's go over here, and I'm going to show you the differential in the salary. So yeah, these things include the differential. That's what I'm talking about. So if you want to know, let's say you want to know what your base pay is. If you want to know what your base pay is, then just select base. And that's what the base pay is going to look like. You see, like some hospitals are like just extremely low. Look at this, 49,000. But then you have hospitals like this where you can make upwards like close to $100,000 a year, right? But that's base. If you work weekends, that's another story. So like, let's say you only work weekends and you're working weekend night shift. This is how much money you can make working weekend night shift, 20 hours per week. And if you're working 32 hours per week or 36 hours per week, you're easily making over $200,000 in like the top paying hospitals, right? That's without working overtime, guys. You don't even have to work overtime in California if you want to make over $150,000 a year. Okay, guys, I'm going to see you guys in the next video. If you guys have any suggestions for the type of videos you guys want us to make, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll make sure I cover those topics. All right, see you guys in the next one. Bye.